Morning. It's been a wet few days, and we're gonna come and take a look how the garden's doing. Um, so haven't been up here in a few days. Well, I have stopped by to pick some stuff, but I haven't spent a significant amount of time up here in the past few days because of rain is one of them, and also because the temperatures have significantly dropped off this last week, like just landslide down into the 50s from like 80-degree weather. So we're going to take a walk through and see what we got going on in the garden. I know that we're going to see a lot of blight. We're going to see a lot of tomatoes on the vine that still need to ripen up, but we need that weather. We need that sun. Get a little heat up here. My guess is the bees are probably just kind of hanging out, not really doing anything at the moment too as well. I saw a couple bumblebees, but yeah, the girls are just kind of hanging out, not really doing nothing. Um, Cleaned out our pumpkin area. I can't remember if last video had shown you guys that. Laid down some straw, laid down some grass, and we're going to continue to do that. But we just have a ton of tomatoes still on the vines. And, these vines are starting to wilt, starting to fold over. This one's done really good. It's pretty disease resistant. But yeah, some are big guys, man. And with the amount of rain that we've gotten, also haven't been able to get these things off before they're popping. Like literally, you're gonna probably see. Yeah, see, look at that, just splitsville there, man. Probably, again, I'm gonna probably lose a third of everything I picked today just to splitting. The yellow pears are really good about not doing that, and then actually kind of holding. Oh man, we got another trellis down. There is a lot of stuff going on up here that we need to fix. I haven't been. That's what happens when you don't come up here for a few days. Got some peppers that need to be picked. Those Tabascos need to come off and go in the freezer until they're all red. That's the problem with the Tabasco. I'm gonna show you guys this. So that's the problem with the Tabasco, right? Like they don't all ripen at once, and you end up with just a few that get ripe. And you got to pick those and throw them in the freezer because if you want to do something with them in a large batch, you got to wait. I got a good Carmen. Look at the Carmens are ready to come off. Yeah. Might start pulling a few tomato plants in the next week or two. These marigolds are doing awesome too. Look at that. They're like the sole survivors around here. Peppers are doing really well still. Got a lot of peppers this year. Bring that up every time I talk about it, but we got to fix this case. Yeah, just look at the blight. I mean, they're just done. This cold weather has just pretty much destroyed everything. But we'll get what we can off here and take a look at what we're going to do for the next few weeks. Clean up, get the cages out of here. I don't, you know, if the weather kind of changes a little bit, might get a boost in tomatoes coming off. But yeah, these orange currants, I wasted way too much time on these guys. I will not be planting these again. And if I do, it'll only be like 1 or 2 plants. Yeah, let's take a walk over here. Jennifer made a bunch of sauce yesterday. Took a ton of tomatoes off, so I think a lot of our San Marzanos are going to be done. And they did not yield what they needed to yield this year. So again, bad year for the San Marzanos. Fix some of these cages here. What a pain in the butt, man. And our indigos, like I don't know. So strange. So many of them just sitting here forever. And they don't turn. But, yeah, like this one's, I think this one's good to go. Well, I could probably pull this one off. So it's getting a little red on the bottom. It's a little soft. It's gotten a lot of moisture because they're starting to split, but I don't see them. Yeah, see, I'm pulling this one off too. This one's kind of ready, but yeah, look at the split there. It's gonna have to sit on the shelf at home. But anything to do to get the water out of, or get the water away from it. Yeah, this guy gave up a few weeks ago. Just been grabbing his stuff because he's not. He's just leaving it on the vine to die. He's got some tomatoes that are growing still. Some peppers over there too as well. But look at all these. So many that need to come off. The birds are just going nuts today too. They're all over the place. But yeah, I'm not. It's probably gonna be a pretty short video today. So week 14 update. Stuff slowing down, stuff dying, things running their course. My favorite thing to say, pretty much. But we'll maybe check back in after I pull a couple things off and take a look at what I ended up with and in some of the bins that I brought today to get things off. A lot of weeds here. Oh man, these Chadwick cherries are just so awesome. They do so good. Cannot wait to plant them next year. They are phenomenal. Those sunrays too, but they split like crazy. These onions, I'm gonna do some weeding over here too. Kale, still getting a lot of kale, but the deer are coming over and reaching their big fat heads over and eating some of that. So we'll get a lot of this stuff cleaned up, pulled out, get grass laid down so that we can wait for them to till everything in, and yeah, we'll take it from there. But that's about all she wrote. We'll be back in a couple minutes and after we pick what we can. All right, later. So we're back and just freehanding this right now. This is what we ended up getting today. I think I did about like 35 minutes or so, picking off everything I could for the cherry tomatoes, everything I could for the yellow pears, Chadwick cherries, and some of the sunrays. I grabbed 2 Carmens off too as well. I was covering up the microphone. Hold on. What I did want to show you guys is that because of the rain, and what I mentioned earlier is that they are just bursting, and I'm losing a ton of cherry tomatoes because of their skin and me not getting out here soon enough to pick them when we have a bunch of rain. And as you can see, the ground is now littered with the carcasses of cherry tomatoes. Ugh. And I will squish them. Hopefully you squish them and the seeds go in there and they actually give us some tomatoes next year. But these are the ones off of all these plants. I'll move the pan slowly. That I was just picking and throwing off. Yeah, there's plenty of them still underneath the plants that may have fallen off, or I just didn't grab or whatever, but it's a lot of cherry tomatoes to go to waste. Piece of advice, if you know it's going to rain and you got some tomatoes on that are going to be ripening up within the next 24 hours, go pull them off. Don't do what I do sometimes, is forget or get busy and prioritize something else and do that instead. And you come back up here and you're like, what did I do that for? Now I've got all these cherry tomatoes that are just sitting on the ground. They're going to rot. Hopefully the birds come get them or something. But yeah, look at underneath there, man. There's just a ton. But we did what we could. Got a good a good bucket full of cherry tomatoes. One thing you will notice, see all those yellow, focus. There we go. See all these cherry tomatoes and see all these yellow pear tomatoes. One thing you will notice that you don't see on the ground a lot of are the yellow pears. And why is that? I don't know. I mean, I can speculate as to why I think it is. One, they have a more resilient skin, thicker. Their plant structure, or their structure handles water better in distribution. It's not like I feel like they have more yield on there to, disseminate the water or disseminate the nutrients quicker or further out or whatever. It literally, they're the same plant to me. Look and feel and yield on them is about the same, but they don't split. And when they do split, and actually you did probably see, here's one. When they do split, focus. There we go. When they do split, they heal themselves pretty well. They really are really good at healing. This one I threw out because it was not healed all the way, but look at all the seeds, man. Go grow. They're masters at healing themselves. Unlike cherry tomatoes that, I mean, when they bust open, they stay nice and open. Like that's an open wound and they don't heal up. Yeah. Oh crap, I forgot to pick the ones out of here. Oh man. I'll have to go in there and pull out what I can. But again, yellow pear tomatoes, they do so good. If I did like tomatoes to eat, this definitely would be the one that would probably be my favorite. But yeah, they just they hold up a lot better, and as you can see, just because of the size, and I've got pretty much the even amount of plants between the cherry tomatoes and the pears. They're yielding about the same. I pulled off about the same amount, but yet I threw half. Look at that. That just split there. This was not split a minute ago. See, this is what's a really interesting thing about the cherry tomato here. When you're pulling off the cherry tomatoes and it is like the weather it is now, or the things that we're dealing with right now with splitting, try and leave that stem on top of there, because as soon as you pull that stem up, you cause this little microfracture right at the top, and it literally just runs down the tomato. And I'll probably go through this pile that I pulled that were completely good, because I checked every single one of them. When I get them home and start throwing them on the table, I can guarantee that there are going to be a ton of split ones in there because of either that kind of fracturing that's caused when you pull the little blossom top off of it, or just because of the weight of the other ones on it. But yeah, the yellow pears won't see anything like that. They'll all be just as good as they were when I put them in there. So yeah, oh, poor basil. Oh, one other thing I did want to mention, the bumblebees. So I got to do a little research on some bumblebees here, because they are out in force right now, and they seem to be doing a lot more, being a lot more active than the honeybees. Now I know honeybees have a temperature threshold that they don't like to be out and about, and they kind of just hunker down. And I think it's like the high 50s or the really low 60s that they can actually get out and fly. We're above that, I'm pretty sure. But I am guessing that the bumblebees can fly around and do their business in a lot lower temperatures than the honeybees can. And by lower temperatures, I mean like seriously like 1 or 2 degrees. It makes all the difference, especially when the yellow jackets are involved. Those yellow jackets will attack honeybee nests to raid them when the temperatures are a little bit low, to where they know that the honeybees are not going to be able to fly, but yet the yellow jackets are able to get around. That's why like 30 days from now, or whatever, beginning of October, you're going to start seeing at the cider mills, when you go out there, you're going to see a lot of the yellow jackets, more than you will see honeybees. Yellow jackets are just complete a-holes. I don't. You can kill them if you want, but honeybees, be nice to them. They're not going to sting you. They're not going to bug you. Just shoo them away, and they won't ever think twice that you shoot them away. Unlike the yellow jackets, that will just turn around and sting you on purpose, and then laugh at you. But anyway, this is our tomato yield for today. I've got a lot more stuff I could be doing. I think I'm done for right now. Got to get back to the office. Took my whole lunch break up here, so. That's about it. You guys enjoy. This is the week 14 update. God, 14 weeks in. Can't even believe it. Started the week before June started, so like end of May. April, May, yeah, June. And this is what we got left. And it's almost over, and I'm so sad. But we'll do it all again next year. So we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye.